Now everyone, I thought I'd do a quick video on my Lada, my Lada that's currently on the road, because we're going to be talking about it quite a bit in future videos. And I've only ever put, I think it's 2 videos up that feature this Lada, and it's had quite some quite heavy adjustments since then. So I thought I'd go through the modifications and whatnot that it's had. The repairs that it's had as well. You'll have to excuse the wind. I don't know if it's going to affect the audio on this at all, but it's a bit breezy. And then I'm going to give it a wash. I don't know whether you'll see me giving it a wash, but I'll give it a wash and then it'll break down about half a mile down the road from the shock. But I think we'll start from the front. So obviously I've done the chop on the front wings, done that angle there. I follow it around and then I level it off here. I don't particularly like them when they go up like that. I think they look a bit sort of cheap and bodged really. And then we've got the recovery hooks, which are they're put onto some angle line to spread the load. That's 50/50 by 3 RSA, that is. And I think these have a safe working load of about 2.5 tons, these yellow hooks. But I've got them on all 4 corners. So you can pull off both, and that's about 5-ton pull, which is plenty for a 1250 kilo Lada Niva. Something that keeps happening, well, it's happened twice now on this Lada, is my crankshaft nut keeps vanishing off the face of the earth, so I have to machine new ones. So that's not a factory crankshaft nut. And then I got my tow rope, which goes on to, these are only temporary. I'm gonna make some stainless steel round tube with a big flange on top of it that the rope will wrap around, and then get a longer rope as well. Big boolers, they're 7J rims off a Suzuki Grand Vitara, and they've got a really good offset. The offset is about 3.5 inches, so that's an ET of about 80 mil. Is it negative 80 or positive 80? Anyway, so that the mounting surface is actually exactly in the middle of the rim, so it really kicks this out quite well, and it means that the inset is the same as the factory wheels. So these actually fit really well. Obviously, to fit them, you have to flare the arches out quite a bit. But I really like how these wheels fit. The only disadvantage to them is that they're quite heavy. They are quite heavy wheels, so if you're going to do high speed off-road, it's quite a lot of unsprung weight. But they are a really strong rim. You know, you got this. I mean, you're not going to buckle this rim really. They're really thick steel as well for the wheels, definitely for a Niva anyway. And then me rubber bungees, and there's absolutely nothing special under the engine at all, under the hood, sorry. I'm going to put an electric fan on it. It gets a bit toasty sometimes, and when you look, half the radiator's not got a fan on it, so I'm going to go to a breaker's yard and get a fan that covers the whole width of the radiator. Dixie horn, and that's about it really under here that's in any way special whatsoever. So I got rid of the bonnet pull. That's why I've got the bungee cords, because I've smashed the front wings quite a few times. It's misaligned everything, so the bonnet latch didn't work. You'd be driving down the road and next thing your bonnet would be popping up. Oh, I missed the gas strut as well. I'll show you that. So I've got a gas strut. You can buy a gas strut kit for them that come off the engine, and they've got like fancy brackets that bolt into the bonnet itself, and I just think they're well over engineered, and then you end up with bolt holes in your bonnet and everything like that. So I literally I went to the breaker's yard and got a gas strut, I think it was off a small Kia hatchback, and just a bolt through where the wing is here, and welded a bit of angle iron on there, and it works like a charm, you know. Fall down there, and then it holds itself up. I think it's great, and once the bonnet's down, you wouldn't know. So again, I got some Tex wing mirrors. Those that like the classic cars, the British classic cars, will recognise these instantly. Very, very common mirror on British classics. I was a bit of a tight Yorkshireman when I got them, because I've only got the flat glass. It does make it a bit difficult. I'm going to buy some convex ones, because you can't really see a right lot out of the mirrors, to be honest. Makes it quite horrible to drive down the motorway. You have to keep looking over your shoulders all the time and stuff like that. And then I've got my cills. These took quite a long time to make. I think I'm going to draw them up in CAD in future and get them laser cut. Drilling all those holes was the drilling all the holes was the hardest bit. Well, not the hardest, but the longest bit. And then I've got the Fisher emblem in those. They're made out of 2mm thick plate, and then it actually sandwiches the I don't know how much of this you're going to be able to see, not a right lot. It actually sandwiches the original centre skin in between the two. I'm going to be making some of these for the Red Bear project, but I'm going to change the design slightly. I don't like this big surface area on the bottom. It's just an anchor point. So the ones on the Red Bear are going to be slightly different. Rate my world sticker. Don't touch my Lada. That was given to me by my mate Henry. Towing hooks again on the back. This is a stainless exhaust that I made out of some scrap stuff that we had lying around. I can't remember what grade it is. I think it might be 304, so it's not exactly ideal for stainless exhausts, but it does the job. It's not designed to be power boosting or anything like that. It's literally, if you ever look at a standard exhaust on a Lada, they are the most most poorly designed exhaust, in my opinion. All it does, this exhaust, the only reason I made it stainless is just so it lasts a long time, and the reason I've made it as well is just to get it up from the ground. It's tucked right into that chassis there. If you look at a standard exhaust, they're always like about 6 inches below the body line, the chassis, and it's the first thing that gets ripped off when you're off-roading them. So that's actually tucked right up into the chassis, and that's why I've got the heat wrap around it as well, just to stop it from scorching the underbody seal or anything like that. This coupling system here is it's only temporary. I'm going to get some V-band clamps, and that'll be spot on then. And that's, I think, because I made it out of what I had lying around, I think that's actually something like 2mm wall stainless pipe. So yeah, it's going to last forever, really. And then it's had a 100mm chop off the back. So 100 mils taken off there. I was a bit concerned when I first did it that it was going to handle like a barge afterwards, but it's actually still fairly rigid. I'm going to put a rear roll loop in it with some braces back, which will lock it out, because it does just flex a little bit when off-roading. You can't sometimes, when you've got it on the real good flex, full axle articulation, the boot's a little bit funny to open. It does still open, but it's just a little bit funny, the poo emoji, because certain people don't like it. And then I've just got some electrical boxes for the rear speakers. Rate my weld sticker again. That 100mm makes a big difference though. You know, it does seem to give you more confidence really when you're off-roading, because you got less chances of smashing into it, obviously. Obviously as well, sometimes you forget the obvious things. I've taken the bumpers off. I'm not sure whether I'm going to make some bumpers. I'm not entirely sure. It's one of those things that I might do one day. Because you do worry, especially on the back. The front end I'm not so bothered about, but you do worry that when you're in really tight spaces and your windows are covered in mud and stuff like that, you do worry about backing into something. But we'll see. One of those things. The tyre size on this, if you look in the Red Bear video, I actually say these are 31s and they're not the 29s. These are 235 70/16s. So the Red Bear, it's going to have 33s, so they're actually going to be 4 inches bigger, taller tyres. So it's going to give me 2 inches overall, more clearance. So I think when I do the body cutting, I'm going to the arch. This line here is actually going to move up to here, which isn't an issue on the back, but on the front that's going to be quite a lot of body work that I'm going to have to do, but that's why I'm doing it. You know, it's just a bit of fun. Sill again, the cills. I Heart Unimog, Niva sticker. The interior, there's really not a lot going on. These front seats, are they're out of a BMW 3 Series, and they don't actually take much at all to fit, and they look really smart. They fit really well. They flick forward, so they got the tilt and swing, so you know, the base actually moves forward when you do it, and the passenger as well, you can actually operate from the driver's side, which is another really good thing. And they're really comfy as well. I'm contemplating just getting a bit of, I mean, I don't know if I'll ever do it. It's one of those things that, if it was like a showboat thing, then I'd be bothered about it, but I've contemplated about getting some black dye and getting rid of this pattern so it suits you can just see the back seat in the back there, so it suits that, matches that back seat really, but I don't think I'll ever manage it. We've got the CRTone CB. Let's see if we can. Really good little CB actually. Still got to trim the aerial to swire it in, and then just a JVC Bluetooth radio. I went into Halfords and I just said I want the cheapest Bluetooth radio you've got. So that was it. I can't remember how much I paid for it now. I think it was about 60 quid. And again, the front speakers I've got in the little electrical boxes. Just there and there. They're only I've only got 100mm speakers all the way around. So it is a bit tinny, but again, it's not a showboating thing. It's just because I want a little something to listen to. I'm not, you know, you don't buy a Lada Niva for absolutely perfect audio. And then fire extinguisher for when I'm trialing and whatnot. Otherwise, I'm gonna say that's about it for the interior, really. She got 62,000 miles on her. So CB aerial on the top. That's about it, really. Can't think of anything else. I don't. Hasn't got a body lift on it. Suspension lift, sorry. I don't do suspension lifts. I like to keep that centre of gravity right down. So what I do instead when I'm fitting the big tyres is just lift the arches up, cut them back. But yeah, that's about it. Work I've had to do to it, I've fitted a brand new 5-speed gearbox, which I'm currently running fully synthetic 75 W90, and that's working really well actually. No problems on cold mornings or anything like that, and it's not crunched, and I think I've done just over 20,000 miles with that gearbox now. No, just under 20,000 miles, and there's no problems to report yet. I have to make sure that it's if you are gonna run the 75/90, which is still a bit of an experiment, the fully synthetic, make sure that you run GL4 spec, just to, because you've got a lot of yellow metals in the Niva gearboxes, and there's different theories on that, but there's certain people that say it doesn't make any difference, but there's more people in my from what I've spoken to that say it does make a difference, so I'd rather have the GL4 than the GL5. It's had a new second-hand right-hand drive steering box because I smashed that when I was off-roading. I had to transfer the parts from my old steering box, which was actually really good nick, into the new second-hand steering box, because the internals on that were absolutely kaput, knackered. And I've had to do a repair. Those of you that follow me on Instagram and on Lada Niva UK will know that I've had to do a repair on the transfer box, because I smashed the mount off on that as well. And then it's got 4.1 diffs to cope with the big tyres rather than the 3.9s, just to reduce the ratio back to factory really. And it is about bang on where factory was, so and that's it. Hopefully that'll answer a lot of the questions that I'm always being asked about it, and it's not finished yet. I don't think it'll ever. Let's give it a wash. soap do its thing. I just use TFR. It's not like I'm bothered about the paint finish, so it's literally just TFR, traffic film remover. Obviously a lot of people don't use that on their cars because it's quite brutal stuff, but I just want all the salt, grime, dirt taken off it, so it does the job for me. A couple of things I forgot to mention is I've actually the heater blowers on Ladas are generally well known to be really bad, so this has actually got a heater blower off a Mercedes SL 500. And it currently hasn't got a cowling, so I can't really give any feedback onto how good it works, because all the fan does is just turbulate the air around itself. I've got a cowling ready to fit, it's just getting around to fitting it. But the conversion itself is actually quite difficult as well. You can buy a conversion where a blower sits underneath the bonnet in the engine bay, and I think if I was to do it again, that's what I'd do. I'd just buy that conversion. It's a lot of work to fit the SL 500 blower. It's not really worth it. I feel like there's something else I've forgotten as well, but I can't think what it is. Oh, I had to do a gearbox repair as well because I smashed the gearbox mount. And all of the repairs that I've had to do so far was all in one trial. I haven't had any issues since, so touch wood anyway, I haven't had any issues since. And I forgot to tell you that I nicknamed this one the Real Beast from the East after that bad weather we had that headed over from Russia that year. So I just nicknamed it the Real Beast from the East. I just think it's a funny name for it, really. So right, I'll crack on with washing this soap off. There she is, squeaky clean. If it was summertime, I might get a sponge out and just try and get some of these dirt marks off. But being winter, it doesn't really bother me. I just want to get the salt off it. That's all I'm bothered about. Stop this, stop the rust getting any worse. So it's actually it's more solid than it's ever been in the time that I've had it. The only bit of rot that's not on like a door skin or something like that is this front corner. That's the only bit of rot on it now. But I think after I've done the red bear, I think I'm going to do a full front end rebuild on this, and actually replace all of this, the wings and the inner wings and everything. Oh, that's the thing I forgot to mention. So I got some washer jets off. We had a 13-ton Merc truck, sort of 90s era, like the Eco liners, but the heavier chassis. And I basically took the washer jets out because my washer jets were broken anyway. They were pointing in completely the wrong direction. You couldn't move them around to point correctly. And I got some washer jet hose, and I just took the actual washer jets off the 13-ton truck and fitted them to these wipers, and they work really well. And you've got 6 jets per wiper. Is it 6 or is it 3? I think it might be 3. Yes, yeah, it is. It's 3 jets per wiper, so 6 in total, and it's a massive difference over the standard ones. And you could probably fit some washer jets that might just fit the arms better. I might do this on my on the Red Bear. I fit them off a Sprinter van. They'd probably fit even better than the truck ones, because the truck ones have quite big wiper arms. I've had to space these out with some number plate tape. So the Sprinter ones probably fit a bit better. I'm going to actually get some bulkhead fittings, because the Sprinters have bulkhead fittings that go into these holes, and it'll just make it look a bit neater and tidier. But yeah, it's a conversion that's well worth doing if you've got a Niva, because it's great for when you're off-roading and you've got a lot of mud on your windscreen. They work really well. And that's about it. So thanks for watching. Cheers for now.